The day of the bridal shoot, my fiancés first came looking for him and he dumped me on the spot. He even conjured a replacement cameraman on the fly. Shoot with her for now. We'll Photoshop me in later. I stared at the man he dragged over Adrian and fell into silence. Adrian smiled. Shall we shoot then? We didn't just shoot. We walked out with a marriage license. Only afterward did Lucas panic. Who told you to take it seriously? Before we go on, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. I sat on the sofa, bored, flicking the hem of my wedding gown. A few steps away my fiancé was on the phone. Boy syrupy, pooing at his first. Don't cry. You know I can't stand your tears. Looks like I haven't changed at all. The second you cry I surrender. Wait at home. I'm on my way. I heard every word. Lucas ended the call and strode toward me, face tight with worry. Serena, something's come up with Lexi. I have to go. I stood. What? Stage 4 cancer. Lucas flashed annoyance. Stop it. She just caught a chill. Everyone in the bridal studio turned to stare, whispering. I kept my eyes on Lucas. Oh right. Just a chill. Someone snorted. The rest of the onlookers lost it, laughter rippling through the room. Lucas glanced back, then glared at me, color rising. He pressed his lips flat and gave a cold laugh. It's only a bridal shoot. Anything works. He pivoted, yanked a tall guy over, and parked him in front of me. Shoot with the photographer for now. We'll paste me in later. Then he rushed off, frantic about his first, never noticing the prop he'd grabbed. Was my first too. That face slammed into my vision. Still unfairly gorgeous. I swallowed. My throat felt sand-dry. No words. Adrian only smiled, black eyes glinting, elegant, feline, effortless, one brow lifted. The two of us shooting together. My brain lagged. Instead of answering, I asked, You work here? Adrian's gaze was liquid. His lips parted. Dylan then, so shoot. I sucked in air. Shoot. Lucas went to his first. I'd shoot with mine. Perfect symmetry. Adrian obliged and disappeared to change. In front of the lens the photographer croaked, Relax, get close. I tilted. Adrian hooked an arm around me like it was old habit. We'd done this choreography 1,000 times. Muscle memory. Where's your fiancé? He asked, palm branding my waist. Holy hell, he wanted small talk now. I inched his hand down a fraction, smiled sweetly without moving my lips. Off visiting his first, Adrian gazed down at me, all fake devotion. In the frames we'd look like the world's most in-love fiancé couple. Seconds from becoming the real thing. Just like us, you mean. Next pose. The photographer coughed. Closer. Groom. Let her. Before I could breathe, Adrienne's face drifted in. Slow motion seduction. Exactly how he used to kiss me. Every inch of tease. My heart sprinted. I shut my eyes. His whisper brushed my ear. Free tonight. Low. Lazy. The final hook. Years gone. And the bastard still knew every button. Damn it. 3. Under all those eyes Adrian could ask. I couldn't answer. My heart hammered. Half thrill, half shame. While we shifted poses I dipped near his ear. I still have a fiancé. A soft snort. Then his palm reclaimed my waist. Territory he'd mapped long ago. Grip still fierce, still sending sparks north. What was I thinking in public? His baritone reeled me back. So where is this fiancé right now? I jerked my head, collided with those dark lamps of eyes. Yeah, where was my fiancé? I answered the earlier question instead. I'm free tonight. The smile he gave could have powered Riverdale for a week. He hadn't changed. Didn't need to. Still magnetic. Shoot finished. The photographer gushed, cheeks pink. You two are insane. Every glance, every tilt, zero coaching. The groom's stare, pure sex, and the bride giving it right back. Story in every frame. A stylist hissed. They're not actually engaged, remember? The man blinked, looked at Adrian, at me, smacked his forehead. Right, total strangers. My bad. Adrian stepped up. Can I get the digital files now? We haven't retouched. A black card appeared. I'll pay extra. Absolutely, sir. The assistant swiped the card and let him off to copy the shots. I changed, checked my phone, missed calls, unread messages, none from Lucas. Good. Perfect. Tonight I was definitely free. 4. Outside, the sky had gone fully dark. I asked straight to my place. City neon danced in Adrian's eyes. The smile was lethal. First stop, the supermarket. My brain veered straight into the gutter. I managed to nod. Let on. A big box store sat 2 blocks over. We walked. First time buying condoms with Adrian. He'd once stocked my bathroom with tampons without blinking, so I followed him in. I knew the display sat by checkout. When he kept wheeling deeper, I tugged his sleeve and pointed. They're right here. He glanced from the boxes to me, paused. Please no. His silent laugh. Groceries first. Wife. He told me inside. Lord save me. With one hand on the cart, one threaded through mine. He hit produce. Craving anything, I craved teleportation. Whatever. It's snowing. Hot pot, he suggested, already loading vegetables. Next came seafood, shaved beef, lamb rolls, every favorite. Anything else? I shook my head. He hesitated. You have spare toiletries? I swallowed. Yes, good. He laced our fingers again like the breakup never happened. At checkout, he tossed 2 boxes of condoms onto the belt with the cabbage. My face combusted. 5. Adrian surveyed my kitchen. Pristine appliances, 0 mileage. I don't cook. I order in. He didn't bother asking where things were. He'd already bought seasonings anyway. I, hostess extraordinaire, parked on the sofa while he prepped. Still no word from Lucas. When Adrian emerged and caught me glaring at my silent phone, he smirked. Waiting for your fiancé to call? No, I said, meeting his gaze. I'm afraid he will. Truth. From here the plot writes itself. I'm done with that dead-end sequel. He angled a smile. Wash up. Dinner's on. Steam billowed between us over the pot. I watched him through the mist, pulse hopping. When did you get back? He dropped blanched shiitake into my bowl. A week ago. I speared a mushroom. His warning came automatically. Hot. I stared at it. So you really weren't employed at Dylan's studio? No. Heartbeat sprinting. Only Adrian ever made it race like this. Then why walk in? Lazy tone, eyes on mine. Saw you go in, expected, and still it detonated inside me. I tilted my head to look at him. Adrian, do you still like me? Adrian stood, placed the seared beef into my bowl, and when he leaned in closest I heard him murmur. When have I ever not liked you? 6. Adrian and I were college classmates. The moment he set foot on campus, he was already the star of the school. Because of that stunning face alone, a hopeless romantic for good looks, I fell for him at first sight. But he was the one who chased me. Like every first, our love was beautiful and blazing. We adored each other so fiercely that even decades later, the memory would burn hot in my chest. Yet we didn't just love, we fought. Scholarships, student body presidency, contest rankings. He never yielded and neither did I. Our rivalry stretched from the classroom into the real world. Maybe because we both had sky-high standards that uncannily aligned. We always wanted the same acquisition deal. Our relationship snapped. I was the one who called it off. I'd been under crushing pressure. Mom and Dad expected me to notch real achievements so I could take over the family firm someday. But my older cousin was formidable, 5 years my senior and far more experienced, and I was clearly the underdog against him. That one time, Adrian snatched the project I'd set my heart on, and the coup slot slid straight into my cousin's lap. It was the first time I'd ever lost my temper with Adrian over competition. I demanded, "Are you still my boyfriend or not?" Adrian didn't back down. "Serena, if I let you win, I'd be insulting you." I took a long breath and shut my eyes. "I'm exhausted, Adrian. Let's break up." Adrian refused. Of course. After a few more shouting matches, I yelled at him to get lost. He did straight overseas. Now no one fought me. That same window Lucas came home. Lucas and I had grown up together. We were childhood sweethearts and ever since. I also knew every chapter of the love story between him and Lexi. They'd started dating in high school and got abroad together after graduation. Years of tangled passion unraveled when Lucas chose to return. Lexi broke up with him the instant he left, with Vance and Ashford forging a tight partnership. Taylor, Lucas, and I agreed to a corporate marriage. Why Lucas said yes I couldn't say. I only knew I'd lost the coup chair, so I aimed for the CO throne. Marrying Lucas would give me extra leverage. A year ago, the two families had announced our engagement, and both companies' stock prices had soared. Today's bridal shoot had been public knowledge, too. Had I not seen Lucas take Lexi's call, we'd be filing paperwork tomorrow. Instead, he'd rushed to Lexi and still hadn't contacted me. I figured they're together right now. A man and woman exes alone. What happens next needs no caption. What Adrian and I will do tonight needs no caption either. 7. After dinner, Adrian washed dishes in the kitchen. Wanting to start repairing the year-long rift, I followed. Let me help, Adrian. No need. I stood quietly to the side. Suddenly he called my name. Serena. It was the first time since we'd met again. My heart skipped. I answered hastily. What? Eyes on the dishes. His deep voice struck like a gavel. Break the engagement with him. The him could only be Lucas. I pouted. You don't need to tell me. Lucas has probably rolled around with Lexi God knows how many times. Marrying him now would be nauseating. Even in a corporate marriage, I want one that's clean. Oh. Adrian glanced at me, amusement laced with teasing. Thought you liked him. How vinegary. I rolled my eyes. So you flew back because you heard I was taking bridal photos with him? Adrian admitted freely. Exactly. Knew it, jerk. Then you must have seen last year's announcement. Why didn't you stop it? He set the bull down and faced me, gaze grave. If I'd come back then, would you have called it off? I shook my head. No, I'd been furious and stubborn. Once we split, I figured life would just go on that way. Agreeing to marry Lucas had been a considered decision. If he'd tried to stop me, we'd only have detonated worse. He knows me. He resumed scrubbing. I stepped closer. Weren't you afraid Lucas and I might do something this past year? His hands paused half a second, then kept moving. I didn't let myself think about it. So, the jerk was generous after all until he set the bull down again and looked at me. But I'm thinking now. He walked up. Did anything happen? No, I said. Lucas doesn't want me. I don't want Lucas. What could have happened? Adrian's eyes were as dark as the night outside. He slid an arm around me and held me hard against his chest. 8. When I opened my eyes the next morning, he was right there, propped on one elbow, staring at his phone. A blissful disbelief hit me. This isn't a dream. I scooted over. What are you doing? On the screen was the photo we'd snapped last night. Our impromptu bridal portrait. Back when we were crazy in love, I'd imagined marrying him. Back then, I never pictured our bridal shoot happening like this. What's so interesting? I reached over and lowered his phone. He tilted his head. Looks perfect. Perfect enough that it still needs Photoshop, I muttered, throwing the covers off. I turned at the bathroom door and glared down at him. It's all getting retouched anyway. Adrian's jaw tightened. A playful menace flashed across his brow. Didn't learn your lesson last night? My cheek scorched. I shot him the dirtiest look I could while studying my sore lower back and stalked into the bathroom. His triumphant chuckle trailed after me. He always laughs like that when he wins. On campus or in the boardroom, we were evenly matched. But in this arena, I'm hopeless. And watching him gloat kills me. Hand on the doorframe, I couldn't resist firing back. Just wait. Someday I'm going to murder you. He flipped the sheet aside and opened his arms, eyebrow arched like a fox demon. Bring it. After I showered and dressed, I emerged to find breakfast ready. 2 bowls of greens and noodle soup. As I slurped, Adrian reminded me, don't forget to dump that guy. Straight after, I drove to Vance headquarters to see my parents. The company is under Vance Holdings. My father built it. Inside the executive suite, their faces darkened as I explained. Mom asked, what are you going to do? Dad lifted his gaze, waiting. I didn't hesitate. We break the engagement. Wait, wrong words. Not break. That sounds mutual. We're going to publicly dump him. I refused to give Lucas an elegant exit. Mom nodded, pride blazing in her eyes. That's my girl. Yes, we dump him. Dad shot her a helpless smile. Our daughter's a carbon copy of you. Naturally, I said. I'll be my own dynasty. No corporate marriage required. I'd finally grasped that the only person I can bank on is me. Fine, fine, Dad huffed, pretending to be wounded. You two are both dynasties. You don't need me. He could pout. Mom would coax him later. 9. We set the plan. Tomorrow we march to the Ashford estate, return the ring, and announce the split. Then I buried myself in work until after 8. When the elevator doors opened, I found Adrian lounging outside my apartment, arms folded, back against the wall. I hurried over. Why didn't you go in? He cocked a brow. No code, no fingerprint. How? Sometimes he's just bratty. I tucked his hand to the biometric lock, enrolled his thumb, and gave him the numbers. Next time, just let your cell. He yanked me into his arms. The door thudded against my spine as his mouth crashed over mine. Was the rush really necessary? I twined my arms around his neck and kissed back. Only then did I admit how starved I'd been for him this past year. We may still clash and compete, but I will never walk away from him again. Serena, I thought I heard someone call, but Adrian's breath roared in my ears. Probably imagination. Suddenly, he tore his lips free and crushed me tighter. I followed his gaze. Lucas stood there, face twisted with rage. A live grenade about to blow. He stormed forward. Adrian released me and stepped up. Lucas swung. Adrian clamped his wrist midair and hammered a fist into Lucas's cheek hard enough to drop him. Lucas scrambled up, cursing like mad. Touch my woman and I'll kill you, you bastard. Adrian kicked him to the floor again. Adrian's foot pressed into Lucas's stomach, voice low and glacial, brooking no argument. Serena isn't yours. Lucas spat blood, smeared it from the corner of his mouth and glared at me. Serena, you're cheating on me. Before he could finish, a strangled cry tore out of him. Adrian ground his heel harder, intent on doing real damage. You know exactly what you did. Keep your mouth clean. Adrian withdrew his foot, turned, and laced his fingers through mine. He unlocked the biometric lock with the fingerprint he just recorded, drew me inside and shut the door. An urgent pounding erupted behind us. It grated on my nerves. I started back to send whoever it was packing, but Adrian cupped my face. Focus on me. When the knocking finally stopped, I had no idea. After a year apart, Adrian's pull on me was magnetic. Only later, over dinner, did I realize Lucas had already slunk away. I never wanted to see him again, but I'd have to face him one last time to break the engagement. Mom and Dad, however, informed me they would handle it. When it was done, Mom called. All settled. We'll release the announcement whenever you're ready, she added. I never thought much of that boy either, but we can't openly declare war on the Ashfords. Appearances must be kept. I understood. Enemies are a luxury. You don't collect lightly. Mom, I'm fine. Better than fine. She laughed, pride shimmering in her voice. I know. My daughter's throwing herself into work. That makes me proud. I stayed guilty silent. The truth was, I wasn't throwing myself into work to forget Lucas's stunts. I truly didn't care about him. What mattered was Adrian was back, and lately I itched to spoil him rotten. Mom spoke again. But don't let your life be all spreadsheets. Eat, play, fall in love. There's more to life than closing deals. Don't worry. I absolutely plan on falling in love. A pause. You already have someone in mind, don't you? I cleared my throat. Got to run, Mom. Talk later. I hung up fast. A steely band slid around my waist. The devil himself pulled me against him, scattering delicate kisses along the curve of my neck. Engagement officially over. I'm ticklish. I shrank from his mouth and teased. Nope. The lips on my shoulder paused. Without warning, he bit me. A large palm slipped under my blouse. I caught his wrist, towed him to the sofa and shoved. Adrian cooperated beautifully, sitting obediently, waiting. I love when he's this docile. My phone, however, refused to cooperate. Its shrill ring sliced through the moment I was ready to destroy him. Caller Lucas. He still wanted to see me. Adrian's hands viced my waist. You're not going one last time. I cradled his face and brushed his lips. There's a loose thread I need to snip. Lucas had humiliated me in the bridal studio. If Adrian hadn't shown up, he'd have forced any random man to stand in for our wedding photos. That grudge doesn't get swallowed. It gets settled. Lucas picked a half-empty cafe, quiet enough for a private showdown. He opened with, "Who the hell is that guy? We've dated a year and I never even held your hand. Yet you were devouring him." Remember, we're getting engaged. He wet his lips, nodding to himself. Okay, I shouldn't have walked out on our bridal shoot to chase Lexi, but Serena, you know how deep Lexi and I go. She came back. How could I ignore her? He exhaled. Lexi's pregnant. My mental question marks multiplied. Then he added, it's not my kid. I genuinely blurted, huh? Lucas met my stare. Relax, Mrs. Ashford is still your spot. No one can take it. I just can't abandon Lexi. She's alone, pregnant, and right now she only has me. He inhaled, voice dropping, about you and that man. One slip I'll overlook. Don't repeat it. Suddenly he snapped his fingers. That guy was the random photographer I dragged in that day, wasn't he? Now I get it. You were punishing me. Fine. I deserve some of it. I'd heard enough. Your parents didn't brief you? Rhetorical. He blinked. Brief me what? I straightened. Since they didn't, I will. Lucas. I'm not marrying you. His eyes narrowed. Meaning? I smiled. Meaning I'm rejecting your worn-out shoes. Luca shot up. Who are you calling worn out? Heads turned. He sat, voice low. Serena, you know exactly what our engagement represents. Don't throw a tantrum and I won't wed Lexi ever. I won't marry a divorce. Sure, I slept with her, but you slept with the photographer. We're even. I stepped to his side, purse in hand. Thinking I'd cave, he lifted his chin. Serena, know why I came? I asked sweetly. He smiled. We grew up together. You always put the big picture first. That's what I admire. The future Mrs. Ashford can only be you. Wrong. I grinned. I came to give you something. Before he could ask what, I cracked my palm across his cheek. Gasps ricocheted around the cafe. Lucas's face flamed, stunned. Consider that payment for the insult in the studio, I said. Bother me again, and childhood bonds won't save you. Whether shock or stupor froze him. I was outside before he reacted, sprinting after me and seizing my wrist. Serena, get lost. I jerked free and slid into the waiting car. Adrian turned the key. All cleaned up. I nodded. He curled a loose strand of hair behind my ear, thumb stroking my pulse. Time I meet your parents. Then all lazy pretense vanished. His expression was dead serious. I've wanted this for months. I knew what he meant. Had I not lost that acquisition deal and a coup title to him a year ago, we'd probably have met each other's families long ago. Still, I worried. What if we split again in the heat of another fight? I won't. His reply rang clear. Absolute. He was politely saying I would. He engulfed my hand. I know the fear. Sometimes I wonder if I should throw a fight, let you win. I asked myself that every single day after we broke up. Serena, I can lose to you happily for the rest of my life. But the world isn't just us, and my losing won't help you win. I nodded. I get it. When we split, I hadn't blamed him for not letting me win. I'd vented on him after losing to my cousin. My fault and I own it. Adrian, I won't break up with you on impulse again. Wow, hearing that almost makes me believe in miracles. He smirked. My parents hadn't even known I dated, let alone met Adrian. I'd planned to parade him home only after I'd finally beaten him. A year later, that competitiveness feels childish. Naturally, my parents adored him. They coordinated with his parents to schedule dinner and lock down our wedding. Alone again, I mused. If we just corporate married each other, Grandpa might have handed me the coup title out of sheer joy. Excitement sparked. Think he'd skip straight and make me CEO? Adrian shot me a look. Are you marrying me or acquiring me? I pouted. Slip of the tongue. It's a power merger. He ruffled my hair. I'll run a bath. Join me. I sprang up. No can do. I've got unfinished business. Lend me your laptop, Adrian. I darted into his study. No way I'm sharing a tub right now. His password is still my name plus his birthday. I've been eyeing an acquisition deal earmarked for Lucas. Now I'm poaching it solo. I wasn't trying to snoop on Adrian's laptop, but the moment I saw a folder labeled with my name and a date, I clicked without thinking. Inside were photos of me from the past year in Lucas's file. He even had records of when and how often Lucas contacted Lexi. He knew the exact day Lexi flew back. I remembered Adrian telling me his own return flight overlapped with hers. So much for Adrian's legendary composure. He'd been tracking my life the whole time. He'd simply stayed hidden while Lucas and I were only announcing our corporate marriage with no big moves. Adrian stepped in, caught me scrolling through the photos and reports, and didn't look the least bit guilty. I slanted him a look. If I'd actually married Lucas, would you have crashed the wedding? He cleared his throat, instantly righteous. That Lucas is trash. Why shouldn't I steal the bride? I waved him off. Out. I'm busy. This acquisition deal is mine. No question. I'd assumed Lucas would stay tangled up with Lexi a while longer, but he's been eyeing the same target. I underestimated his ambition. We next met at a cocktail fundraiser. Lucas walked over with Lexi on his arm. Neither of them could hide a thing. Every thought was broadcast across their faces. Lucas wore the smug look of, "See what you lost. Now it's too late." Lexi's eyes screamed, "I gave you a year and you still blew it. Lucas is mine." God, two clowns at once. I bit my lip to keep from laughing as they approached. Lucas glanced around me and sneered. "Flying solo? Where's your little side piece?" He answered himself before I could. "Oh right. He's only a photographer. A place like this, security would never let him in." Lucas left Lexi and leaned close, voice low. "Regret breaking our engagement for a cameraman yet? Serena, I'll give you one more chance. Gravel now, and the Mrs. Ashford title is still yours." I turned straight to Lexi. He says, "If I apologize, the Mrs. Ashford seat is mine again." Lucas's face went green. Lexi's expression was pure fireworks. "Don't listen to her," Lucas stammered, rushing back to Lexi. Lexi's pride was cracked, but she still cuddled his arm for show. Yet the second I headed to the ladies' room, she chased me down. "Stay away from Lucas," she hissed. I burst out laughing. "And you are the mistress warning me off?" She jumped back into bed with him while he was still my fiancé. Lexi lifted her chin. "Lucas has always loved me. The one without love is the real mistress. I had nothing. With that worldview, you pretty much forfeit normal human status. She and Lucas are perfect. Lexi, if Lucas truly loves you, why did he dump you and fly home alone?" She bit her lip, eyes blazing. "If you want to keep lying to yourself," I shrugged, "be my guest. I enjoy a good train wreck." Friendly tip. Your ever-faithful prince told me he'd never marry a divorce. Think it over. I slipped on fresh lipstick and walked out. Adrian rarely shows at these parties. People called him reclusive and mysterious. After a year abroad, the rumors turned legendary. Some say he walked away from his birthright to build overseas empires, proving vision unmatched among our set. Proof the Sterlings would thrive. Others insist he left to nurse the heartbreak I caused. Whatever the truth, Adrian's absent presence colors every room. Tonight, the crowd was still name-dropping him. Every CEO desperate to partner with the Wunderkind. Who exactly was Mr. Sterling's first? Returned to the ballroom just as Lucas asked the question. His companion chuckled. "Planning to do business with him, Mr. Ashford?" Lucas smiled, neither confirming nor denying. The man nodded knowingly. "Interesting. Lucas wants Adrian's backing. He just brawled with him and Adrian can't stand the sight of him." After the gala, I said goodbye to a few chairmen and headed for my car. Lucas caught up. Lexi was nowhere in sight. "Serena," he called. "I know you're circling the Yukuan acquisition. I'm interested too." I thought he'd propose teaming up, but instead he said, "I'll step aside if you revive our engagement." Deal. I glanced past him at Lexi, who had emerged from the hotel and stood watching, pensive. Before I could answer, Adrian's voice floated over. "Ready, darling?" Lucas's eyes flashed when he spotted Adrian. Then he snorted at the car waiting curbside. "Serena, you bought your boy toy wheels. I can't see what you want with a guy who can't even afford his own ride." He stepped closer. "Oh, almost forgot. Adrian's back in town. Did you know?" I looked at Adrian. "No, I'd slept with him," Lucas gloated. "I'm about to partner with him. With Sterling Global behind me. Ask yourself who can deliver more, me or your photographer." He laughed. "Okay, he probably takes better pictures. 1 week. Think it through." He shot me a cryptic smile and left. Adrian and I climbed in without a word. Once the door shut, he asked, "Where did your parents dig up that marry you?" I felt personally insulted. A week later, Lucas summoned me again. I knew meeting him was a waste of minutes, but life needs comic relief. He chose a vineyard. I'd barely sat when he poured a red. Try it. My own label. I beamed. Wow, impressive. He blushed for one fleeting second of innocence before ego took over. Serena, have you come to your senses? I swirled the glass. So this whole week you've done nothing but wait for my answer. He held my gaze. Exactly. No wonder, I murmured. No wonder what? I closed the Yuku deal. I said sweetly, you're doing nothing. Removed one competitor. Saved me minutes. Really? Thank you. His mouth opened. I steamrolled on. Because of your inaction, I shaved a few minutes off negotiations. Grateful. Lucas isn't stupid. He caught the insult. I crushed him in the time it takes to pick a filter. His brows snapped together. What are you saying? I tilted my head. That you're not even in my weight class. He shot to his feet. So you won't marry me? I widened my eyes. Wow, brilliant deduction. Serena, you played me. He was livid, but arrogance resurfaced fast. One little Yuquan. I couldn't care less. I was willing to let bygones be bygones for old time's sake. But you asked for war. He stormed out. That dipstick single-handedly cured my work fatigue. I'd stalked the Yuquan project for months, drafted countless pitch decks, and outbid half the city. We signed 2 days ago. Big win plus free entertainment. Life is good. I went to Adrian to celebrate. I hadn't expected his parents to be there, rallying the board as Adrian formally inherited the Sterling Global throne. His mother clasped my hands, taking the CEO crown before wedding you. Now he's worthy. Every dynasty knives its way to power. Still, Adrian left, spent a year abroad, and returned to claim the crown. It was never just heartbreak that sent him away. Sure enough, the moment Adrian's parents left, he turned to me and came clean. I really did go abroad first and foremost for Sterling Global, he said. But it just so happened you wanted to break up right then. I couldn't split myself in two, so I flew out first. He cleared his throat, dropped his eyes, and stared at me like a scolded puppy. Pitiful Lexi level, but I didn't want to lose you. So I had your fiancé investigated on the sly. I rolled my eyes. And the rumor that I shattered your heart so badly you fled the country? Did you plant that too? Adrian gave a cautious nod. Yes, for your ears. And he still sounded justified. You blocked me. I couldn't spend a whole year in radio silence. What if you forgot me? I wasn't about to let the matter drop. I had to rake him over the coals or I'd burst. So the CEO seat matters more to you than I do? Adrian's gaze sharpened, reading me like a balance sheet. If I couldn't even secure the CEO title, would you still marry me? I know you, Serena. Your bar is sky-high, gorgeous, built, low-key and mysterious cooks, crushes every metric. If I'd lost to my half-brothers, you'd never look at me again. The more he talked, the more wronged he sounded, yet it felt suspiciously like self-praise. I remembered telling him back when we first dated that my dream guy was the perfect alpha CEO from a romance novel. My future husband had to be that flawless to deserve me. He really had used the checklist on himself. Now I was the one blushing. I was just rambling, young and daydreamy. Adrian straightened his tall frame. Oh, so I don't have to act superhuman anymore? Duh. You're not a god. He suddenly leaned to my ear. So can I use the bathroom in front of you from now on? Get lost. 17. Adrian took me out to celebrate landing the Yuku acquisition deal. Outside Vance headquarters, we ran into Lucas. He was pleading with security. Just 10 minutes with Mr. Sterling. Please, I swear. I tugged Adrian forward. Lucas's eyes widened when he saw us. Serena, you're here to see Sterling too. Are you deliberately countering me? He looked Adrian up and down. A grown man dangling off a woman like jewelry. Proud of yourself? Beat it. This building isn't for your kind. The instant the insult left his mouth, a manager bowed deeply to Adrian. CEO Sterling. I'll escort him out immediately. Lucas's sneer froze. He stood there slack-jawed. Finally, he stammered. CEO. The manager added. This is our newly appointed CEO of Sterling Global, Adrian. Lucas's face drained of color. You're Adrian? He swallowed hard. How? When did you and Serena? Adrian pulled me to his side. Allow me. This is my first Serena and I'm hers, he added, his voice proud. Before Lucas could process, security hauled him away. Mr. Sterling, listen. Serena, help me. We grew up together. Adrian muttered. Makes it worse. Jackass. He nudged me, still staring. Entertained. I nodded. Very. Watching an idiot crash our scene is hilarious. Adrian scoffed. Hilarious, my ass. He'd quit imitating novel CEOs and gone full rogue. In the car, he suddenly leaned over, serious. Serena, I need to say something. Go ahead. I'm not alpha or cool at all. Will you still like me? His eyes glittered. I bit back a grin. Yes. Yes. Then he cleared his throat. If I'm a bit of a hopeless romantic, will you still like me? I could barely contain my laughter. I will. Adrian exhaled and hugged me. You're amazing. For a second I didn't recognize him, but this version was even more thrilling. 18. When Lucas found me again, he looked wrecked. Serena, put in a word with Sterling. Please, everyone knows I offended him. No one will partner with me. Even my family's cutting me loose. I'm desperate. He played the nostalgia card. We grew up together. Help me. I beg you. I shook my head. No. After the way he humiliated me in the bridal studio, he expected favors. Did I look like a doormat? Don't contact me again. I never want to see you. I walked away. He really stayed gone until one afternoon I spotted him on the sidewalk arguing with Lexi. I gave you money, bought you a condo, and now you won't sell it to help me. Lexi shielded her belly. Gifts, Lucas. And didn't you boast you'd never touch second-hand goods? Yet here you are, begging this used woman. I won't help. I regret ever loving you. You make me sick. Get lost. She shoved him and marched off straight toward me, chin high. She stopped. Emery, thanks for the heads up. I'm flush and expecting. Life's cushy. As for Lucas, if you want him, take him. I'm done. I shrugged. Hard pass. Lexi, 19, flew overseas, sold the condo, and banked Lucas's gifts enough to live plushly with her child. I had no opinion. It wasn't my business. Because Lucas kept harassing me, Adrian leaked proof that Lucas had broken our engagement while entangled with his ex-Ashford Group. Stock price plummeted, and the board publicly severed ties with him. Lucas became persona non grata. Whatever happened next was on him. Adrian began planning our wedding. 1 week before we filed the license, he handed me a contract and transferred every asset he owned into my name. I wasn't shocked, but I asked, why give me everything? Adrian looked utterly serene. Because you like owning things. Whatever you want, I'll get. I told you I'm a hopeless romantic. I twitched. Hopeless was an understatement. He grew defensive. You promised you'd still like me if I was lovesick. A deal's a deal. If you crave competition, fine. I won't go easy, but everything I win still ends up yours. Too boring for you. I hugged him and patted his head. Darling, confidence, please. I love you. Any version. Adrian's spine straightened, swagger restored. On our wedding day, Grandpa handed me the CEO chair of Vance Holdings. A reward for the flawless Yukuin deal. Okay, maybe marrying Adrian helped a smidge. I wanted to earn it solo, but my husband's influence isn't something I can erase. That dazzling husband whispered. I feel like crying. What do? I tilted my head, half laughing. Then cry. Tears sprang to his eyes as he crushed me in his arms. Wife. My dream just came true. I giggled against his chest. What dream? He kissed the top of my head to be Serena's one and only devoted knight. And thanks for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and share with friends. We look forward to your comments. Share your thoughts and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. See you next time.